Hi, how's it going? Today we're going to be ranking all the pets in Hypixel Skyblock in the form of a tier list. I know I've done one of these in the past, but that was a long time ago. A lot of new pets have been added into the game, a lot of new features, balancing, or at least an attempt at balancing. I know the devs are trying. One quick thing I want to get into before I actually rank the pets, that's kind of the point of the video, is that this is my opinion, and if you disagree with my opinion, you're actually just objectively wrong. All of my opinions are completely correct. Yeah, they should be treated as such. This was actually made by 30 Virus. He doesn't need my shout out, let's be honest. Okay, let's go over the tiers. I have S+, S, A, B tier, C, D, and Jerry tier. Pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, starting off, I don't really know if there's an order for what I want to do, although this is not a pet, is it? Dude, what is this doing in here? Who are you? Anyway, I guess we just start off from the top. I think this is probably going to upset some people, but I'm actually going to put Baby Yeti in S. And there's a very specific reason, which will be explained with the blue whale. The reason I'm putting Baby Yeti in S and not S+ is because, number one, it's really stupid to obtain. If you're on an Iron Man, yeah, you can forget about you ever getting the Baby Yeti pet. This thing, it's really good for dungeons. I mean, that's the primary use of it. The reason I'm not putting it as an S+ is because I just think the blue whale is a better pet. Baby Yeti is really only good for berserkers, and whereas blue whale is good for pretty much every single class. So next up we have Black Cat. Black Cat's also an S for me. I know that it's not that great for Magic Find anymore. The reason it's still an S though, the 100% speed. It's amazing for frag running. It's amazing for that's it actually, but speed is cool, and also I'm biased. Did I forget to mention that? Blaze Pet. Again, this might trigger some people. Blaze Pet's a D pet. Actually, no. It's a C pet. I can't put it in D. Okay, moving on to, honestly, one of the best pets in the game. Every series Skyblock player should have this pet. Unless, of course, you're a berserker, then I guess you can get the Baby Yeti, but this is an S+ pet. I don't even think there's any argument about this. It's been proven that Blue Whale gives you more EHP than Baby Yeti. The fact that Blue Whale could be used for every class honestly just makes it better than the Baby Yeti in every way for me. Next up we have the Chimkin Pet. Chimkin Pet, it's adorable, but it's pretty much useless. There's no reason to have this pet. But Dolphin, S+, I don't really think I need to explain that. You use this, you can basically use a dolphin your entire fishing journey. I know people are gonna be like, actually, if you use the flying fish, it's like 1% faster fishing speed than the dolphin. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Dolphin's the best fishing pet. It's the most actual, like, practical pet. Elephant, honestly, it's a bit strange because farming right now in the game, in case you don't farm at all or you're just unaware, farming's pretty much completely dead. The elephant gives you so many more crops, which makes it a really good pet, but farming in general is so bad that, like, it's not even worth it. I'm still gonna put it in S tier. Actually, no, I'm gonna drop it down to A tier, because there's really no reason to get it. You might as well just use a rabbit pet. Next we have Ender Dragon. I'm gonna put Ender Dragon at A. It's really expensive, and it doesn't specialize in one specific thing. I guess you could say damage, but there's better, cheaper alternatives. Oh, one thing the dragon is good at though is giving Swayze content, so I guess that's something it has going for it. Enderman, I mean, if we're talking about the legendary Enderman, that's literally an F tier pet. I'll put it in C tier though, because I know a lot of early game players use this as damage pets, which I don't really know why you wouldn't just get like a rare tiger or an epic tiger even if you can afford it, but I can understand. I think C tier is fair. Endermite's a bit tricky. I don't feel like Endermite's quite Jerry tier, but I am of course biased about this, but I think Endermite still has like a small window of use, but like I said, it's like the chicken pet. It has barely any like actual practicality. It just exists at this point for pet score. Flying fish goes in B tier. I don't see the reason to use flying fish instead of dolphin. I don't know why you'd use diver's armor instead of like shark scale. Ghoul pet, okay, Ghoul pet's D tier. It's not a bad pet, it's not great at anything. It's okay. Like, I don't know, if you kill your first crypt ghoul when you have like lapis armor on, you get a ghoul pet, then that's fine, use it. Other than that, it's not that great. Giraffe pet's garbage. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain that. Next we have the Golem. I know Golem was really good for dragon pre-firing apparently. I don't know if that meta's still there. I know that Golem's also a pretty solid like regular damage pet if you want a cheap epic Golem. Again, you can get an epic Golem and it's just better than the Endermans. I think I'm gonna put Golem B, but this is one I'm unsure of, so feel free to let me know in the comment section. Next up we have Griffin pet. Now, I'm gonna actually put Griffin in S+. The reason is it lets you do something no other pet can do, and that's mythologic rituals, and you can make some serious cash off of that event with the Chimera books and dwarf turtle helmets. I think those are the 2 items that sell for a lot. On top of that, it's also a really solid damage pet, so if you want to kill 2 birds in 1 stone, just get a legendary Griffin. It's pretty expensive, but in getting so, you can do the best of the mythological events, and you have a solid berserker based damage pet. Next up we have the Guardian. I normally would rank a skill XP boost pet higher, but you really don't need the Guardian to get to enchanting 60, and I actually think it's better not to use the Guardian once you have it level 100, so you can then level up like a combat pet. So I'm actually going to put Guardian in B tier. Horse pet's pretty much useless, so I'm just going to put horse pet in Jerry tier. I'm gonna put bat pet in A tier. I think it's an excellent pet for Spooky Festival and Spooky Fishing mainly. Other than that, doesn't really have any capabilities, but it's super easy to level, and yeah, it's just a solid pet. B pet. Now, B pet's like one of my favorite pet, if not my favorite pet in the game. But I think this is gonna kill me, but I'm gonna put B pet in C tier. Which honestly is probably still too high for it. It doesn't really have a purpose. It's cool to meme around, and I'm super biased, so I think C is the best I can do for the B pet. Hound pet, okay. Hound pet is an A pet. It gets you free money pretty much. If you do spooky fishing, you have to have one of these hound pet. It pays itself off within 1 Grim Reaper. It can literally make you like 5 mil per event depending on how good your fishing setup is. Yeah, and it's also like pretty cheap, so I don't really see a reason not to get it. If you spooky fish and you're fishing 26, you need this pet. Jellyfish, that's Jerry tier. No one uses this pet. Everyone forgot about it. I still hate it because I accidentally spent 18 mil by spam clicking an emerald in the dark auction for an epic jellyfish. And yeah, not happy about that one. Believe it or not, Cherry Pet's not going in Jerry tier. It's going in D tier. The reason I'm putting the Jerry Pet in D is because if you get the Mythic Jerry, you can then get these Jerry candies, which is just a boost to all stats, which you can't get any other way. Next up we have the Lion. I think the Lion is a C tier pet. It's not great. It really isn't. I've done a couple like early mid-game playthroughs just on abandoned profiles. I remember using the Lion pet to try it out. It just wasn't good. It's kind of the same with the Enderman. Why use the Lion pet when you can use a Golem or a Tiger? Magma Cube pet is going in D tier. I know many of you might think it goes in Jerry tier, but Magma Cube pet, its legendary ability makes slime and Magma Cube minions work faster, and again, something people completely forgot of, Magma Cube minions actually still make you cash for early game players. It's probably one of the better strategies you can do. Magma Cube pet, super cheap pet. Megalodon pet. Now, this pet is super weird. It has the potential to be a really good pet, but at the same time, the way the devs executed its abilities just makes it less than desirable. I'm gonna put it at B tier. Mythril Golem is an S+ pet. Anybody that mines constantly will tell you. I mean, I think it's just common sense at this point. Mythril Golem, literally the best mining pet. Nothing else even comes close. Monkey pet is an S pet. Now I know foraging is irrelevant right now. No one forages for good reason, but in case you do feel like foraging, you do feel like leveling up that skill, which you probably will at some point, Monkey pet's your best and pretty much only, I guess, reasonable option for late game players. Ocelot pet, it's pretty cheap, but it's still like not worth getting. I'll still put Ocelot at B tier. it still does something. Next up we have the parrot. I'm glad I made this tier list now. So this is post Revenant 5 update, which in case anybody's watching this in the future. So that parrot pet's actually good now. Before, this pet was super good, then they came out with God Pots, this pet was garbage, and then they changed it. They reworked it, which was a good idea. The parrot pet now actually affects God Potions, which actually makes it a really good pet. I'm gonna put it at A tier because it saves you a good amount of money. Phoenix pet, this pet makes me sad. This pet had such a good reputation, such high potential. Honestly, Phoenix pet is a jury tier pet. It's super expensive, it's super rare. You can't get it on an Iron Man pretty much, unless you're Dream. And in that case, you that's fine. You can get Phoenix pets. Pigman pet, I love this pet. I have a special place in my empty heart for this pet. It's solid for Slayers. If you don't know, its third ability makes you do up to 25% more damage to high level mobs. It does get outclassed by a couple of things in certain scenarios. I think all around, you can use this pet for like some of the most difficult bosses outside of dungeons, and it will get you through. I'm honestly gonna put Pigman in A tier. Pig pet Jerry tier. It's garbage. No reason to use this. AFK sugar farms like barely even work anymore. No reason to use this pet. Rabbit pet's an S tier pet. I would have put this a bit lower pre Dwarven Mines, but because of how bad farming is for money, you really just want to go through it as fast as possible. Unless you're like me and you decide to level up a B pet for whatever reason. Rabbit pet's a solid pet, super cheap, early game players, really easy to get. There's no reason not to get this pet. Rock pet, I'm gonna put D. I know early game has some use with just mining. It gives you some extra defense to help survive, but this pet does not really have any use beyond that other than just being a meme. Sheep pet, S tier. Possibly one of the best pets in the game. For what it does, it's amazing. This pet is so good. Best pet for mage, really no other options, and you will use this pet your entire dungeon mage career. Silverfish pet, I would put Silverfish pet in S, but I'm gonna put it in A. Part of that is because it used to be like, snow minions used to be the best way of getting your mining level up. Now that Dwarven Mines came out, the best way is actually physically mining. If you mine in the Dwarven Mines, you want to use a Mithril Golem. You don't want to be using a Silverfish. Skeleton Horse, Jerry tier. Useless, same as the horse pet pretty much, but just slightly more annoying to get. Skeleton pet, I'm surprised I don't hear many people talk about this pet, but it's actually a pretty decent early game, mid game, maybe even early late game archer pet. I think I'm only gonna put it in B tier, but it is a good pet if you like using bows. Snowman pet, it is good for AFK farming, but I'm not gonna endorse that because I don't want to get banned, so F tier. Alright, next up we have Tarantula pet. I don't know entirely if they changed this or not, and I'm way too lazy to look it up. I know it does boost Tarantula minions, which is nice, so I think I'm just gonna place it in C tier. Next up we have the spider pet. I don't really know what the point of this pet is. I just don't know what the point of this pet is. I guess I think you do more damage to spiders. If you're using a spider pet, again, to do more damage to spiders, if you need help doing more damage to spiders, just again go see that therapist, and yeah, sort yourself out. D tier. Next we have Spirit Pet. Now I'm a big fan of pets that give you passive buffs like the Spirit Pet. As bad as the Spirit Pet is, for that reason alone, I think it deserves C tier. I think Squid Pet is an A pet. I would put it higher, but I don't know how many people use fishing minions. Squid Pet's good. If you don't know, there's this thing called pet swapping, which you can do with fishing, where you fish up a sea creature, and after about 5 minutes or so, you switch to the Squid Pet and you kill all the sea creatures. But I still don't know if it's really in the same tier as these ones. Next up we have Tiger. Tiger's an S pet. Not quite S+, but I'd say it's an S because it's the only pet that truly is based around ferocity. And it's really, when combined with the Werewolf Armor, it's such an awesome combo. It gives you so much DPS. Combine it with like a Tiger Crochet plushie or like the new Reaper Orb from Revenant 5. Not to mention the earlier tiers, like I mentioned with the Enderman and the Lion Pet, it just clowns on all of these like early game damage pets. So I definitely recommend getting yourself a Tiger, and even more so if you plan on being a berserker in dungeons. Next up we have Turtle Pet. I know a lot of people would put it in these lower tiers, but I'm actually going to put it in C tier. Now, it's super cheap, and I think it is one of the better early game tank pets. I don't really see any better options in terms of just tanking in dungeons. The reason it's not that great is because there's an item that literally does exactly what this pet does. I mean, it gives you extra defense, so I mean, this is really the best I can do for it. Next up, we have the Wither Skeleton Pet. I'm actually going to put Wither Skeleton Pet in S tier. Now, in terms of damage, if I were to just consider damage and it's just use regularly, it'd probably put it in S tier. But in 4-7 dungeons, you need this pet. If you don't have this Wither Skeleton Pet for the stage 4 of Necron, what are you doing, dude? Yeah, get this pet. There's no reason not to. Wolf Pet's an S tier pet. Combat XP, amazing. Don't really think I need to say anything else, and it's also super solid against Fens. This one might surprise you, but I'm gonna put Zombie Pet in A tier. I know I got a lot of pets in A tier, but Zombie Pet is an A tier pet, mainly because it's really good against Revenant tier 5s. I think this is super underrated, and I was streaming earlier, and I realized how good it was, and I'm probably gonna buy one myself once I feel like it. Yeah, Zombie Pet. It's such a slept on pet too. Now we have this King Talisman, whatever. I'm gonna pretend this is the Grandma Wolf, so editor, I guess future Meep, edit this into a Grandma Wolf pet. I'm gonna put Grandma Wolf in S tier. Kind of surprising, we've only had it for like 2 to 3 weeks now, but I do believe that the Grandma Wolf is one of the better pets in the game, mainly because, again, it's a passive bonus and it can get you permanent magic find and combat XP. That's going to be it for today's video. If you did make it to the end and you aren't subscribed, I would highly recommend subscribing. If you enjoyed this, you'd probably enjoy my live streams, my other content, and feel free to check out some of my other videos while you're there.